Alexa off. Welcome. Great evening, and welcome to the Sonia Dungy podcast. We are having a special Mother's Day tribute tonight, which I'm so grateful and excited for. This special edition, episode 152, which is being sponsored by Always Destined for Greatness, LLC, also being sponsored by Drip City, LLC, and B-Lips, LLC tonight. So I am your host, Sonia Dungy, and of course, we're still bringing the heat to the IG, the Facebook, and the YouTube streets. So for those of you who are joining tonight for the first time, I want to say welcome. I appreciate you so much. And so that you're aware, we go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do have additional episodes, as in tonight, for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Memorial Day, and a host of other days as well. Black History Month, we go every day as well. So I would love to know that you will be following us and joining every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So before we begin, there's two things. Number one, if you put in the comments where you are hailing from, I'm always interested in that. And secondly, this is going to be a very active, participative podcast tonight. And so I'll be asking you questions, or I'll be asking you for your opinion, or if you want to make a shout out, any of that is so much welcomed for tonight. We'll make some exceptions. Okay. So for those also who are tuning in for the first time, you don't know who I am specifically, I would like to just share that with you briefly. So I have a story to tell. My story is the reason why I sit in front of you week to week on the Sonia Dungy podcast. And that story began on January the 23rd of 2021 at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in the midst of the epidemic. Excuse me. And that was like a Saturday that I will never forget. It is etched in the in my heart, my soul, and my mind forever. But that 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, as I held my dad's left hand, sitting bedside with him, I witnessed a tear come down his cheek. And it was in that moment I saw him take his last breath here on this earth and his first breath in heaven. And as a result, I spiraled out of control instantaneously. Before even leaving the hospital, I was literally pulled down the hallway. Thank goodness for those Ugg boots. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't breathe. And it just went downhill from that. For 342 days, I was stuck. I was stuck in grief. I was suffering in silence. I had no direction. There was no end in sight for me at all. And I didn't want to talk to my family about it, because in my mind, they were grieving just as much as I was. And I didn't want to keep rehashing that wound for them. And so I kept it to myself. And as in the movie Groundhog Day, or that gerbil, if you will, or a hamster that goes around and around in a wheel. But, well, that was me. I was just doing what it took to get by, jobbing, leaving my bedroom to walk across the hallway into my shishi room to do my job for that 6.5, 7.5 hour stint, because we were working from home because of the pandemic. Shut down, walk back across the living room into my bedroom, shut the door, and I just remained there. I remained there for 342 days. And it wasn't until I took a really great look at myself and made that decision that enough was enough and I couldn't do it anymore. And I needed to seek help because I couldn't do it alone. And as we all know, willpower alone will never outdo community. And I needed a support system. I needed a community, and I needed a mentor/coach that was going to help me through and show me the direction in which to go so that I can find my true calling and my true purpose. So that leads me to today. Today, I'm a transformation coach, and I get to help those that are suffering in silence, just as I did, that are isolated and stuck and just not knowing what to do with themselves. I get to turn them around, and so that they can be walking in their true purpose and destined for their destined for their greatness as well. And that was a real short scenario of what I do as a transformation coach. But tonight, I wanted to share that with you so that you can understand where it is that I am coming from, because I too was stuck. And as most of you have shared, when it comes to the holidays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, especially, you're feeling isolated, you're feeling stuck, you're going down memory lane, and it's hard for you. And in those moments when you find some joy and you're able to smile, then you have a sense of being guilty, like I shouldn't be smiling or looking and not going to think loved one. But in that, that it's time to move. I come in because I help those that are stuck, but they're ready and able to move forward and invest in themselves and find themselves a transformation coach and a mentorship and a community so that they can learn what it takes and get the valuable tools necessary in order to be able to move forward. So that's my purpose. That's what I talk about. And I really wanted to share that with you. So when I say I was stuck, trust and believe me, I was stuck. Okay. That's not to take away from my siblings or anything else, but I personally was stuck in my grief and I didn't have a way out. So if I was sitting in front of you today and you're saying, well, how does she know how I'm feeling? I can honestly tell you, I can relate to some of the feelings that you might be having. I'm not going to say I understand you completely because I don't know your story and I haven't heard it. But I can tell you, those that are on here, or those of you who are watching the replay later, and you have even reached out to me, like one particular individual, I'm so proud of her. I'm not going to call her by her name, but I was on her live yesterday. I was just popping up, and she saw that I was there, and she started coming alive, and she started talking her truth, and I was saying, go ahead, girl, preach it, because I felt and I can see it. I can sense that she just had things on her chest and she just let them out. And so I'm so proud of you. I know you know who it is that I'm speaking of. And also the fact that you reached out to me and you said that you were going to be on one of the social platforms tonight watching. So welcome and God bless you, and know that I got you. So in the I got you, I want to introduce you to somebody. This is my big sis. I love her dearly. We're the best of friends. We are accountability partners together. She allows me to share my story and talk about my dad. You know, some people don't really want their family members to talk open and honestly about, situations, and she's fine with that. And I'm gonna have her come on and share part of her story as well, because there was two different aspects of she's seeing things much differently and clearly than I could see. My grieving was different, and that's okay. So I'm going to bring on Coach Dawn Allen. So, okay, where are you?
Hello.
I can see you. There you go.
Hello.
Thank
How
you
are
so
you?
much.
You're welcome.
Before you say something, let me just say, I called my sister 5 minutes to 6, and I'm like, well, what you doing? Because sometimes I get these ideas last minute. I wasn't expecting, I didn't want her to be obligated, but I was more like, hey, if you can make it, at some time, jump on, let's just talk. We're going to talk honestly, but loosely. And we're just going to use this open space to communicate and fellowship together. So I want to thank you for that. And before we go on, I just want to jump over to the other social platforms and see who's joined. Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day weekend to y'all. And Harlem is in the building, and Georgia's in the building. We got Florida in the building, and they're saying, hey, welcome Coach Dawn Allen to you. And let me just jump over now that I know how. And just see how we're doing, because the worst thing in the world is trying to explain to somebody that you don't know necessarily how to go over to the other platforms, but not leaving anybody out at the same time. So I'm going to do my best to be able to see if I can see other people. I cannot at this moment. Maybe I can. But if I can't, just know that I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm learning and growing. So I'm going to keep coming back and forth. So my Facebook fellow family, know that I'm trying over here. I'm trying. Okay. So we're going to jump back over. And so Coach D, that they call Dawn, Big Sis. So again, thank you for joining. And I'm not muting you, so at any time feel just jump right in. But we're going to start with this Mother's Day tribute. So for me, it's for my mama, which is Mama Irene, who went to be with the Lord, my grandmother Rose Elizabeth Riddock, my mother, my bio, Nubia Alice Alvarado, my tia, and so many others. But this is for all of them tonight. And I know, Dawn, your situation is a little bit different. So who are you celebrating tonight in your Mother's Day tributes?
My mom, Christine Francis Woolridge, she lives in the beautiful island of Bermuda.
Yes.
I spoke to her today. She's supposed to come in May for our graduations, but I'm not sure. My grandmother, Laura Stewart.
Yes, great.
She was a superwoman. Let's see, she's part Indian, so she's part superwoman. And let's see, my grandmother, Emily Daniels. She's a supersonic woman. She had all her children at home. And then she had 11 of them all at home. Never went to a doctor, ever, ever, ever. So like, yeah, she's like, oh, really superwoman. So I mean, I really have, I'm gonna see an auntie, my auntie Linda's mom, my auntie as well. Another Bermudian woman, another strong women, Marion Warner. So I would say the women, my family, and now I think about it, all of them passed away from cancer. I just thought about that, breast cancer at that. That's something that we really have to be aware of, ladies. And back then, it wasn't, they didn't really go to the doctor as much. And if they did have cancer back then. It really wasn't. It was kind of, I won't say really new, but now it's a whole different scenario. You have a better chance of survival. My mom had breast cancer, but she's really healthy. She eats healthy, and maintains her weight, and she moved all the time. So she caught it early, and so she is a cancer survivor as well. So those of us women who go to the doctor on a regular basis and are mindful and take care of themselves and eat healthy, they have a much better chance of survival. And so it runs on my side of the family. I don't know about yours, but definitely my side of family does.
Okay, so let me just back up for a second, because people are wondering, like, what do you mean yours? Isn't that your sister? So let's just fix the elephant, so we can remove him from the room. So
no problem.
Dawn and I have the same dad, but we have different mothers. So we share the same dad, we have different mothers. Okay. So now you could understand, for those of you who are just tuning in, what that really means. And to answer that question, on my mom's side of the family, other than my mother had skin cancer, cancer wasn't prevalent, I should say. And if it was, I didn't know about it. I know more on daddy's side for sure.
Right.
And even our dear cousin Candace Daniels, it was Stuart Daniels. She went to be with the Lord. She had breast cancer, which spread through other places in her body or organs. So yeah, it was definitely prevalent on daddy's side. And then of course that would also be your mom's side, because
it's a double cousin.
Yes. So
right.
So yes. So and here we're transparent. We can be brutally honest, and we share so that something that is said can resonate with someone and help you as well. So, and also we talk about God, and we talk about faith, and we talk about it openly and honestly, and with joy in our hearts. So I just want to say that to you as well, with no need to think that we're pushing faith on anyone, because that's not what we're doing. We're just talking about our experiences and our love for the Lord. And the Lord has really gotten me through some things, and every day I'm so grateful that I get to draw closer in my faith. When I at some time lost my faith, I can say maybe not all of it, but I wasn't leaning on my faith when I was stuck for those 342 days, because obviously if I had been leaning on my faith, I would have trusted in the Lord so much more. Proverbs 3:5-6, and I would have known that He was guiding my path even when I couldn't understand it. So again, I'm just sharing these things with you. So we're gonna move forward. I'm also going to keep popping back and forth and reading these wonderful comments that are left. They're saying sisters, and yeah, that's what I mean. Yes, thank you so much for that. And I'm going to once again make that attempt to go over what you're posting. No worries, because I will definitely see it afterwards. So please know that I'm not ignoring anyone.
Ashley said that she didn't know that we were sisters like that. She didn't know how we were sisters.
I was just thinking of ways that we can talk about honoring our loved ones, whether they are still here on this earth or they've gone to be with the Lord. And Mother's Day is obviously tomorrow. I chose to have our special tribute tonight because I'm well aware of some of the ways that we can become stuck and we can regret the holidays approaching us, especially Mother's Day, especially Father's Day. And I've wanted to create a space where everybody can come and fellowship and remember in a loving way and think about things that you can do tomorrow if you no longer have your mother here on this earth. And if you do have your mother here on this earth still, there's ways that you can also remember to honor her as well. So, is there anything particular that you would like to share with us as far as ways to um, uh, have that special tribute for those moms that are here specifically? Because you can really attest to that more so because Miss Christine is, God bless her soul, she is strong and very healthy, spunky as heck. Tell it like it is. But and I know she's in Bermuda right now, but if she was there in Jacksonville, Florida, what would you be doing to celebrate Mother's Day?
Pretty much whatever she wanted to do, and that could be anything. I'll probably think she probably wouldn't go to church, and then she probably want to go to dinner. And I would think we probably would celebrate the fun part of Mother's Day prior to Mother's Day. She'll probably want to go to somewhere like Hard Rock Cafe or something, the Hard Rock. So probably do that maybe on a Saturday, Friday, Saturday night, do that fun, and then slide it in, on, and then Sunday go to church and go to dinner or lunch like that. That's probably how we would do it if she was here. We would have went out on Saturday and had some fun, something that she likes to do. She likes to go to Hard Rock. She likes to do a little, what's it called? The one-arm bandit. Yeah, she loves it.
I was just gonna ask you that. You mean to tell me you've been hiding that?
I wasn't hiding it. She loves it. She goes to Vegas and she's up all hours at night.
Hard Rock, you have is that
the Hard Rock Cafe is in Tampa. It's like 3 hours away.
Yeah, we froze out for a moment. I'm
Yes, I
sorry.
know.
So the Hard Rock, it's a hotel and casino both?
Yeah, it's in Tampa.
Oh, you go down to Tampa.
Yeah, 3
How
hours
far
away.
is that
Yes.
from you?
3 hours.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, guess what?
You go down there, spend the night, come back the next night. She's happy as a lark. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yes, we're definitely going to be going
shorter
to
than
Tampa
going to Fort Lauderdale, to the Indian one. I can't name it right now. The Indian one. I can't think of it right now. That's 4.5 hours away. So Tampa, the Hard Rock is close.
Okay. So
yeah, I know what you're thinking.
All right. So I'm definitely going to be coming, and we're going to go to church. We're going to go to Calvary Chapel, Brandon, for sure, and hopefully meet up with our mentor and coach, Mr. Denver, and family, and then have a little bit of fun after that, on top of fun that we've already had from praising, worshiping, and etc. So that's one great way.
Have fun on Saturday and then bringing it home on Sunday. Because you might have to pray about. You might have to pray about the Saturday for this. You might have to pray about Sunday. Yeah, you ask for forgiveness about the Saturday. I don't know. I'm just saying that could be how it works.
Okay. Yes. All right. So that is one great way, and I could definitely see Miss Christine doing that. Okay. So for me, thinking back, to Mama Irene, thinking to my mom, thinking about my tia, thinking about my grandmother. And they're not here on this earth anymore, but I know that we have gone out to Manorville to a there is a oh goodness, why did it just go out of my head? There's this religious store there, and they have a chapel there as well. And I know Mama used to like to go there, and then they have like this little cafeteria per se. So like Daddy and Mama used to like to go there. So there's been times where, like on her birthday, we would go there and just sit and just fellowship and think about her and crack jokes of all the wild and crazy things that she would say. For my mother, she was easy food. She was like, I think food was like a superhero for her. But she liked to go out and have a good time, and yeah, she liked to pull that one-arm bandit as well. And she loved to shop. That's where I got that
Oh,
from.
yes. Oh,
Shopping. So yeah, your mom too.
yeah.
So we probably do some shopping, and then we
Hmm.
probably go out and eat afterwards. But now, since they're no longer here, so we do things in their memory, things that they would
Hmm.
like to have done. And Mama loved her bingo. She
Hmm.
loved her bingo. People probably saying, I thought you said that, you were a woman of God and faith, and you sitting here talking about gambling and whatnot. But listen, Mama was a woman of faith, but don't mess around with her bingo. She loved bingo. So we definitely said that we were going to do a bingo night in honor of her, but the one that she went to more locally is on the same night I do my podcast. So that's a no
Mm.
can do unless I change the time or something. Um, and from my grandmother, we would just talk about old times, and she would talk to me
Hmm.
about the Bible. And as a little girl, I can recite so many scriptures and things from her. And she would talk to
Hmm.
me about the good old days and whatnot. So that's how I remember my grandma.
Hmm.
Um, and so um, in that, and we'll talk in a minute, but as far as right now, today, in the present tense, um, we're going to come together to either go out to City Island tomorrow and get some seafood, and us
Hmm.
females together, daughter-in-law, or all of us, anyone and everybody who wants to go. My youngest Taylor, just have like a picnic. Let's
Hmm.
get some sandwiches, have a picnic, let the kids run around, have a really good time. As long as we're all together, that's what matters to me. I mean, and
Right.
now we can be together on social media platforms and be together. So you might be in
Hmm.
Jacksonville, but we can still hang out for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So I love that. So now let's get into more of the tribute about
Wait,
ways in which
before you go into
family.
that, hold on a second. My mom told me tomorrow what she's going to do tomorrow. She made reservations for her and three other ladies, my cousins and whatnot. They're going to go, and they're going to they have lunch reservations. So they're going to, so I had sent her a love offering in advance, and they're going to all go out to dinner, or I'm saying brunch tomorrow. And after they
Mhm.
go to brunch, they're probably going to have some cocktails and celebrate and
Oh, okay.
talk about the good times and bad times, and all, not about bad times, the good times, and just talk about stuff. So I'll probably give her a shout out. They'll call tomorrow on WhatsApp, and wish her happy Mother's Day, via WhatsApp, and after church, and see what they're doing, say hello to everybody. So she does go out, and she does have her crew, her family members, and they go out, and so they're going to go out, and they're going to go to brunch tomorrow. They do it every year. Sometimes they change different places, but they go out every year for Mother's Day. So they do go
See,
out.
that's
So
what
I
it's all
give.
about.
Mhm.
It's
Oh yeah.
fun, and it doesn't have to be the conventional way where your immediate family sits at the table and you fellowship and
Hmm.
eat, and that's great. But it's fun to think of other ways to celebrate each other,
Hmm.
things that don't even cost much money. I mean, truth be told, you can put some peanut butter and jelly on a sandwich, and go in the backyard and fellowship, or take a walk together. Just
Hmm.
things. Um, I was thinking about going to the cemetery tomorrow, and then I decided that I'm not going to do that tomorrow.
Oh,
Um,
I'm surprised.
I know,
I
I
think
know, I
I'm
know.
not saying anything. I'm surprised that that's your usual every year thing, and I'm
Mhm.
very surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. No
Um,
shade. No shade at
no,
all. I'm just saying I'm
I went
surprised.
a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm.
I did.
Okay.
And so Mama's birth, actually, the anniversary of Mom's passing was
Right.
last
Right.
month. So,
Mhm.
but I've learned, and everybody's different. So we're not saying don't
Mhm.
go to the cemetery. If that's your peaceful place and that's where
Mhm.
you pay respect to your loved ones, by all means, because I do that myself. I just said for tomorrow, um,
Mhm.
they're in my heart, they're in my mind, they're in my soul. I know you probably can't really see. You always see the picture of my mom, I mean of my dad, but this is a picture of my mother. And matter of fact, it's so funny that we were talking about that. This picture was taken in City Island. You can see where she is with the food
Oh,
in front of her.
okay.
We took this in, we went to Tony's and seafood.
Mhm.
Tony's in the Bronx, City Islands, years back. And my mother's just and she's got her little El Capitan hat on. You couldn't, her little jogging suit. You couldn't tell the woman nothing. Meantime, I'm looking at her like, Ma, the hat ain't rocking with the sweatsuit. But who was I to say anything? She was happy as can be, and I wasn't wearing it, so it was all good.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna lift this up so you guys can see for a second. Maybe you can, maybe can't. Let's see. Um, that that's my grandmother up in the corner, my mom's mother, and you're not probably gonna be able to see it all that clearly. But up there is my mom, Irene, and my dad, and they were dancing at my niece's wedding. They were at uh trying to remember which one. Well, actually, I know it was at Renee's wedding, and with the little matching cells and whatnot. But so I have, this is my studio, and this is where I put up my pictures because these pictures all have significant meaning. And of course, all my awards and things are up here as well. And I have Mother's Day balloons. This one is from Namari to his mommy. We're hiding it at the moment right here in the studio. I love my mom. It's so cute with the little handprints. I thought it was adorable. And then Happy Mother's Day. I have that one too. So yeah, so they're hanging out in the studio until tomorrow.
I have
And
one.
speaking of which, balloons. Um, before I go any further, congratulations on your 100 plus episodes.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. I was honored to be part of that celebration last week. So you're 100 plus strong, and
Mhm.
wishing you many, many, many more episodes to
Thank you.
go. It's just the beginning of greatness. This here is episode 152.
Too.
I will be at 200 before the end of this year for
I know
sure.
that. I know you will. No doubt about
Yes,
it.
yes, and it's not about the how many episodes you have, but it just gives me the greatest joy. Um, and I'm just so grateful for the path that I've been led. And even though I went through those rocky times, those bad times, it comes with a story, and it
Mhm.
prepared me so that I can be that transformation coach and help others, as well. So I'm grateful for that. So let's move forward. And so now you've heard of ways in which, some ways in which you can celebrate Mother's Day. And I have some other suggestions as well.
What
Um,
you got?
favorite
Like what?
meals. If there was a special meal,
Mhm.
that your loved one loved, whether it be your mother or an aunt or somebody who has gone to be with the Lord, make it. Sit down and celebrate in it.
Mhm.
Or if she was a cookie maker or a cake maker, or she loved a specific cake, go get that cake and have some, you know.
Mhm.
And if there was a specific hobby, do it. A game that she liked to play it. A favorite movie, watch it. If you like to go for walks after dinner, go take a walk, take a
Mhm.
stroll. Favorite music,
That's a favorite
listen
music.
to
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Listen to it. You know, find pockets of happy times. And I understand that when you're stuck, it's very difficult to find those happy time pockets because you're like this on the outside but in the inside you're broken, and you're doing your best to not be that Debbie Downer when everybody else around you is in celebration. But also know that if there's pockets of time when you're happy and you're joyous and thinking about memories, or you're working on your goals and dreams, and then you catch yourself and be like, I can't do this because then I'm showing that I don't care about my loved one who went to be with the Lord. That's not true. That is not true. That is a falsity. Don't allow yourself to think like that. Don't let anybody make you feel that way, because it's not. When I think back about my mama, and I, yes, that was my bonus mom, but let me tell you, Miss
Mhm.
Irene, she did not play. My sister's right here. She could tell you
Mhm.
she did not play. She told it like it was. She loved you, and she is respected, and she appreciated you, and she valued you, and she went full throttle for you. Okay.
Yep. She'll fight the war for you.
Yes, she'll cuss somebody out and forget about the Lord at the moment. She was that mama bear. Okay.
Yeah.
And she didn't play those games. She would tell me, like, okay, what's the matter? Who did that to you? Where is he? Like, and it wasn't even about that, but she was just like, and she didn't play with me either. Like, if I didn't call her and I was missing a day, or she was missing me, she would call me, and her exact words were, but I gotta kind of dial it up a little bit because we're on social media right now live, but she would say, okay, you little sugar honey iced tea, where are you? Why haven't I heard from you? So she always wanted to make sure we were good, and she could cook her tail feather. Sunday, I love
Yeah.
Sunday dinners. Sunday dinners, everybody came over and we fellowshipped. And I remember the Italian bread and taking my
Mhm.
bread and soaking it into the sauce and the meatballs and all kind of stuff. Like, we really had fun. We went to bingo, and she had me at the bingo halls. I was 7 years old, and I thought I was doing something. I was bringing donuts and coffee over to people, and I was getting my little tips on, and I was just joyous that I was just there spending time with her. And it was, that extra money in my pocket at the end of the night was wonderful too. So she got me involved in bingo from a young age, and I say that in a loving way. I'm not looking at it. She didn't get me hooked on gambling or anything, but um there's just so many memories of her, telling me not to take any sugar honey iced tea from anybody. Just, I can go on and
Mhm.
on and on. And my mother, she um was living her life, but at the same time, she instilled things in me that maybe she shouldn't. Like, it's her fault that I like to shop, and we would go away to shop. We would go visit my tia in Rhode Island, and we would go visit my grandmother when she finally moved to Rhode Island when I was older. But we'd be hitting up them stores. We would come back with this big Buick Electra, which is a big car with a big trunk filled to capacity. My brother David, myself, and my mother, we were sitting on things bought, comforters, everything. I mean, it was packed, no lie. Okay. But we had the best fun, the best fun. And then we would go to the Shinnecock Indian Reservation Labor Day weekend. And
Mhm.
of course, my mother had to buy her Indian jewelry and all that. We'd be there all day. We'd be hanging out with family members at the booths and whatnot, fellowshipping with them. So I have so many great memories. So I say that for you to hold on to those memories, hold on to them, and don't be ashamed when you're feeling happy in those thoughts, um, because quite honestly, and I really wasn't going to say this, but me and my truthfulness and being transparent, vulnerable, and all of that, there are people that never got the opportunity to know what their true purpose in life was, to walk in purpose, because they were stuck in grief, stuck in hardship, and stuck in despair, and it actually took them out of here. There are
Mm.
studies on that, and I don't want that for any of you. And I was kind of reluctant in saying it, but I'm saying it. Okay, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, but
Mhm.
one step forward one more than the day before is all it takes. Surround yourself with positive, like-minded people in a community that will support you and call you out on your mess if need be. You know, they're not just going to be like, oh, everything's great. Okay. No, 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 no. No, no. You didn't do this, or maybe you could have done this a little bit better. I love you because I'm saying this. And if I didn't care, I wouldn't tell you, kind of attitude, you know. And even with me and my sister, we're accountability partners. We got to show up for ourselves first. But if we don't show up for ourselves, the other one is going to let us know. I'm going to let her know, and she's going to let me know. So we have to be accountable, starting with yourself. And it's hard. And I know it's not easy, but I'm proud of you because you're here. You're here and you're fellowshipping with us. You could have been hanging out. You could have been doing something else. You could have been locked up in your room and, you know, in your feelings, but you chose to be here. And that's important. That's so important. And I want to read some of these comments because we have so many that are coming in. So glad to be on the marvelous day in spite of the rain. Yes. Happy Mother's Day weekend to all. So interesting, mothers celebrating their mothers. Absolutely. I like that. Thank you for that. Yes, we're mothers and we're celebrating mothers. Absolutely. Our church had a mother and daughter brunch, and it's every year. And the men in our church serve all the women today. I miss my godmom. We had fun doing that together. She no longer is here. But she's always going to be here in your heart, and she's always going to be in your mind. She's always going to be in your soul. You have those beautiful memories to share. And you had men that were waiting on you today. God bless you. You both are doing great on this podcast tonight. Thank you so much. It's such a delight to see you two sisters just enjoying life, and you both have a podcast and you can just share good memories and do fun things together. Distant won't stop you two. Absolutely not. That's right. Make a moment. For those of you still have your mother, cherish and love them to no end. If you have a broken relationship, please mend them ASAP. Nothing like having your mom with you. Amen. Thank you so much for that comment. For sure. All of those comments, to be exact, I'm again, I know it's me, but I'm seeing something here. No. But okay, so I promise you I'm going to get better, and I promise that I will definitely answer to all of you on Facebook out of you because you're here, and I know it's difficult for you to be here listening, and it's the wound is fresh. The wound is fresh, but you know, we're just being that example to show you that after the storm, you come out of that storm and you're stronger until the next storm. And I'm not saying another storm is not going to happen, because it is. Death is a part of life. And 4 years ago, I would not be sitting here talking the way that I am to you. And so let's hone on that for a moment. And in that, I shared with you when my sister first came on, when Dawn came on first, that my experience in grief was different than hers because she was able to see it differently than I could. And there was reasonings behind it, you know. And so would you just briefly share your experience, which I know is 100% different than mine, just so that our viewers could get an understanding and maybe be able to relate or have a aha moment in their, whether it's grief or just being stuck in life challenges or hardship.
Well, I thought about it differently. Sonia was my dad's caregiver pretty much, because she was there every day, you know, helping him do things, you know, checking in every day, all day, so I can understand the attachment. Me and my dad were close, real close. Because I was the firstborn, but being she is there up close and personal at that time, they had a special connection, and I understand. So she took him to the doctors, when necessary, and then if she couldn't do it, she had one of her children do it. So they had that connect right real quick. So with me, my dad had an opportunity, so he said, to get this new medicine that might work. So what was going on? My dad had some type of, I don't know the quite name of it, a blood disease or disorder where his body wasn't producing enough blood. So every 2 weeks he would have to go to see if he needed a blood transfusion. So he was going every 2 weeks. So that was it. So the doctor told him that would be his quality of life. Every 2 weeks, going to the doctors. So when I heard that, for the first time for me, quality of life, I was like, wow, that's something I really never heard of before, never thought of before. Quality of life for the rest of your life. That's how you're going to live. So with that in mind, if he was okay with it, that's what he had to do. And, we were okay with it because he's going to be around. Well, I guess I'm assuming that he wanted more. He wanted better because he wanted to travel. He wanted to be like stuck to a chain, to a doctor every 2 weeks. He wanted to try this experimental drug. Sonia really told him that she didn't want him to try the drug. So what he did was, when she went out of town, he did the things that he had to do. I'm not sure, he had to get different things done to his body to get this medicine in his body. Sonia did not know. Well, what happened was this treatment or blood, this thing, it really it increased it. He's supposed to have 6 months to live. We didn't even know that anyway, but he died like 48 hours. So whatever this treatment was, it increased it. So it rapidly advanced. Okay. But I was telling Sonia, I guess he wanted to try it because he was tired of living the way he was living. And even though we didn't want him to do it, he did it behind her back because he wanted to do it. He's a man, and he wanted to do what he wanted to do. And that was his choice. Even though we didn't want him to, that was his choice. So I felt, he, even when he did it, he was really weak and he lost a lot of weight. Sonia didn't know because he was hiding it. He was living with Sonia most of the time, but then he wanted to go home. And I think he knew, because Sonia she made arrangements for him to stay. She got a bed, everything she possibly can do to make him comfortable. Every single thing she done to make him comfortable. The bed, the toilet seat, everything. This girl did everything that she, from A to Z, she can do to make my dad comfortable. Nothing was too good or left out. But he wanted to go home to his own place. So I believe he was ready to go. He was ready to go. He made his decision in his heart, in his mind. He was tired of doing what he was doing. His body was tired. He was ready to go, and he wanted to be with his wife because she had already gone on. So this is how I was thinking. Mm. So even though we didn't want him to do the medication, even though we didn't want him to, that was his choice. He's a grown man. It was his choice. He loved us dearly. He loved all of his kids, grandkids. He was a great grandfather. So that was his choice. That's how I felt about it. I know it's hard for Sonia because she was the caregiver. She was with him every day. So, of course, it'd be hard for her to detach. I live in Florida. So it's not as hard for me because I'm not with him every day for 5 seconds like she was and doing everything she could do for my dad. So she was attached to the hip. I understand. But also, I'm more at that time. Sonia she was religious, but she wasn't really as godly as she is now. At that time, she was not thinking about no God. I'm probably thinking about, that wasn't even her mindset. She wanted her daddy. That was it. That was it. So understandable. So even when he passed, every single thing that was done to my daddy, every single dot dash down to a tie, down to a comb brush. She called me the Sonia, whatever you decide, it's okay. No. I want you to do this. Every single thing, every single line, dot, dash, word, to anything, writing, didn't matter what it was. Okay, I need your approval. So Sonia, I know your judgment, I know your heart, whatever you decide. No. I said, okay. That was her way to make it perfect. She had to include me in it. She tried to include our other siblings, but one was in Sweden, the one was in Bermuda. Where was no, Florida. But every decision she made, I said, she called me on it. So, it was fine. That was her way to deal with it. I just went along with the program. So, and then what made it really, really kind of crazy was, well, I know you heard the story about, us saying goodbye. And also for me, I felt really, really blessed where we had to say goodnight to my dad. I felt like I had closure because at the time it was COVID. And a lot of people, parents and family members dying alone because they couldn't go see their parents because of COVID. But we were blessed. We had an angel. I don't care what nobody says. We had an angel. This lady got my sister. She was able to get my niece. We set up. We had Zoom call. My dad. We all had got together on a Zoom call from Sweden, Florida, everywhere we was at. We zoomed in. We all said our piece for our dad, to my father, all of us, one by one, we had our piece. And then we said, okay, we're going to, give us a minute. They're going to, pull the, behind the scenes. I mean, I know Sonia had to say, pull a tube, pull everything. We know that. We didn't see that part, but the nurse said, we'll come back. When we come back, there will be no more tubes. So we knew what was happening. So we don't know. And when it happened, we saw our dad see his last breath. We saw it. Okay, but she felt it. She had the last human connection with the, warmness and the coldness and I don't know if it was some type of transformation or I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't just tell you that part, but whatever the last seconds or whatever go through and in out, I don't know. She felt all of that. So we gave her that time. That's because she was there going through all the physical. So we had to give her time, space. Understandable. I felt blessed because we were able to say goodnight. We couldn't be there, but we was the best we could do. That was great for me. I had closure. For her, maybe not, but I had closure. I felt blessed because of so many people, parents dying alone. But he had all of us around on the social media tip, and they was there in the physical, holding his hand. So what else can you ask for?
And you know what? I'm sorry. There's this one word that you used, and I think it summed it all up. You said closure.
Yeah.
And that's the key is closure. We don't want it. We don't accept it. We don't want to hear that moment. Okay. We can't. Yeah. We can't. And so even though we're talking today about a Mother's Day celebration, we're talking about our dad. The reason why I brought it up and the reason why I asked you that is because I wanted everybody watching and who will watch later to see and hear that, oh my goodness, they went through that. It's two different perspectives. And I can understand because Sonia was right there in the midst of the storm and Dawn was getting the rain, where she was. And so your closure and your way of thinking and whatnot, and you were able to think more rationally and whatnot than I could because we were in a separate season of our storm.
Yeah, definitely.
And so when I talk now, I can talk, I can smile. When she was talking, I wasn't crying. Have I cried in the past? Absolutely. Will I cry again? I probably will. But I was able to rejoice in it, thinking about where my dad is and thinking about the things that we used to do. And even with Mama, and I don't tell that story often, but I was there. I watched Mama take her last breath. And I watched my mother take her last breath. June of 2023. So, you know what I mean? But I was more conditioned. I mean, and I say it loosely because I don't expect that of everybody, but I went through it in the worst way with my dad. I was preparing myself along the way from Mama's as best as one can.
Right.
But
Well, tell them about her, how her situation was.
with Mama.
Yeah.
So with Mama, I really believe, like people say, I don't, I'm leaning on my faith now, so I question, but my grandson Josiah was born, let's see, a week before mama's passing. And she
Mm-hmm.
kept asking me, did the baby come yet? It was the baby born. And every time I would hear somebody that was getting ready to transition to be with the Lord, they would
Mm-hmm.
ask those type of
About a
questions, and they
baby.
would, and then, about the baby. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the baby. And then another part of me is saying, no, maybe he can, you know, bake a little bit more, because I kind of think I know what this means. But,
Mm-hmm. One goes
but
in,
with,
goes out.
yeah, but, Mama had been suffering for some time, and she had, a blood disease. She had cancer, and
Mm-hmm.
and I saw it take a toll on her, and I didn't want her to suffer
Mm-hmm.
anymore, but I didn't want her to go either. And I didn't want to be there that day when I got that phone call, to get to the hospital right away by my dad. And so when you're in that room and you know that their last breath is coming and that they're getting transitioned to be with the Lord, it's a difficult experience, you know. And it wasn't something to prepare for. It wasn't something that my dad or my sister Rosalinda or anybody, my nieces or my brother-in-law, anybody in that room was prepared for.
Yeah.
But it happened, and it's part of life. But she knew it was going to happen, and she had prayed. She and my dad would pray, and they would say the 23rd Psalm every day, and she would talk to me about life. I would go visit with her. We would fellowship and we would talk, and I knew that she was okay, because she I don't know if it's not really my place to really, but she made a health decision to help
Yeah. That's what I
others,
meant. Right.
because that was who she was.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted others to learn from her, from that. And that was just who she was. And it takes a very strong individual to do
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And God bless her soul. Um, so we've really gone through different things, but we're able to take the good times from it, and we're able to fellowship, and we're
Mm-hmm.
able to remember and love them, and just think of ways to just celebrate. I don't want to say, some people feel the need to memorialize, and that's okay, but I choose to celebrate their life when they were here,
Yeah.
and to celebrate the fact that I know where they are right now, and share with you guys the good, the bad, and the indifferent. And even though, like I said, we were talking about Mother's Day tribute, I wanted to share that part of this, my story, with you through my sister's eyes, so that you can understand. If you know somebody who's going through it now, maybe your relatability has now changed, and you can understand more and sympathize, and know that they're going to be okay. Just be there for them. Just
Mm-hmm.
support them. Even when they don't ask you, just be there and support. Because unbeknownst to me, I'm grieving alone, and I'm doing this by myself, and I don't want anybody to know. I don't want anybody to grieve like I'm grieving. I don't want anybody to hurt like I'm hurt. I don't want anybody to be broken like I'm broken. Not knowing my sister could see through me from Jacksonville, Florida.
I
You
can see
know,
everything.
when
Radar's
she's
like,
saying, "How you
girl,
doing?"
please.
I'm
We was
fine.
quiet watching. We watched you. Just as long as you didn't do anything that was too hasty until that day. But other than that, yeah. I'm
So,
not going in. That's
and
another podcast.
yes, that is. And I was able to find my Facebook friends, and they said, hello, Queens. They didn't know that part of the story. So now you do. And, but in pain, there's purpose. And like I said, we all go through pain for a purpose, even when we don't understand it. And tonight, I hope that the things that we were able to share with you, up and even what you might want to do tomorrow, maybe that was able to give you some clarity and some ideas. And I'm going to hop back over ways that you might have been struggling to face tomorrow being Mother's Day, and my hopes is that it was able to help you in a positive way. I don't see any additional, so I believe everybody is
I think everybody said they had to say. I'm looking too.
is fine with what we discussed. And
Mhm.
you know, but celebrate your mom. If she's still here on this earth, celebrate her. And as one of the viewers said, if you have a broken relationship, find a way
Mm.
to mend it. It doesn't matter who's right, doesn't matter who's wrong. Don't I always say, don't do something that you're going to regret later, and don't not do something that you're going to regret later. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Love on each other, respect each other's differences, fellowship tomorrow. You know, you might be broke till payday. It happens to all of us. Watch
Yeah.
something really great on TV. You know, put together a little
Yeah, it could be a
snack or
favorite movie.
something.
Could be their favorite
Yes,
movie, their favorite song, their favorite dance. Even hang out with some of their friends. Hang out with some of their friends that they might have hung out with. To spend time with their friends and see how they're doing. You
mm-hmm.
know, look at some old letters,
Yes,
some old cards you guys send each other, old pictures. Just have fun. Dress up when they dress up
yes,
like the kind of outfit they have on. Just have fun. Just have a
that's
good
right.
make some new traditions with your grandchildren. Maybe now it's Mother's Day for you too. Maybe you guys can have some fun, some new things you're gonna create. Just fun stuff.
Exactly.
Make it up.
And
There's
then
no
I want
rules,
to
just do you.
exactly do you boo. That's what I say. Do you boo? I found this today. I went to pick up some last minute Mother's Day cards, and I'm hoping that everybody can see
I have the
this.
same
And look,
one. I have the
oh my
same one.
goodness, look at
I
that!
have the
And it
same one. I have
says,
the
"Super
same one.
Mom, your
I have
cape
the same one.
never
I know you
comes
got it
off."
from. I have the same
I
card.
say gladly, I got it from $8 store, local dollar store,
I
but
got it too. I
it
got
was
the
more than
same
$1,
card.
and I got this for
Let me go
myself
find it.
because I wanted to share this. And it says, "Mom, you're my superhero. Happy Mother's Day." I'm gonna put that on my studio wall back here, because as I always say, we all have superheroes. If you're a mother, if you don't have children but you're an aunt, a daughter, a godmother, a sibling of you're a mom to your pets. There you go. You're a mom, or you know of a mom, or one day you will be a mom. Celebrate and remember and help them pull those superheroes within. So, and that's amazing. Great sisters think alike. We both have the same card. All the cards in the world, we go and get the same card. How's that? For
Because we're
thinking alike.
super moms, that's why. And super
Yes,
nanas. And we're
yes,
super
yes.
nanas.
And all of you have super moms, and the moms that are watching tonight, happy Mother's Day to you all. And you fathers that have that role, or you happen to fall in that role because your significant other has gone to be with the Lord, you know, happy Mother's Day to you as well. Just cherish the moments, live in that moment, live, laugh, love, and learn, as I say. Like I said, I did get the comments left in Facebook, and they were saying hello to us, etc. And let me just jump back over once again. See, okay, comments remain the same. So I know we ran over, and my thought was for us to just fellowship. Oh, you got some flowers, honey. How you get your Mother's Day gift already?
No, that's not mine. I'm holding it for somebody. Just like you're holding yours. I have them stashed all in the
Okay.
house. No, I have others' gifts.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm stashing them, hiding it.
Gotcha. And then Namari, I know you're not watching, but maybe his dad is. Thank you so much for the lovely Mother's Day grandmother's card. And I wasn't going to open it till tomorrow, but I felt compelled to open it because it was so meaningful for me. And Namari got me some more charms for from bracelets. Everybody knows I love my charms. I even have a couple of Mama's charms on here as well. On my charm from the company that doesn't pay me to advertise for them, but yes, that. And again, so the memories and the little things, even when the kids make cards, I have all the cards that my children have ever made for me or made in school, or even their reports and their little pictures. And I just more recently started giving them to them for keepsakes and for them to give their children as well. But fellowship, know that I am here. You can DM me, call me, text me. Anybody who is watching or watching the replay later, you can set up an appointment with a heart-to-heart with Sonia, and I will give you a half an hour of my undivided time, and we can talk and perhaps even draw a life blueprint together. Also, this coming Wednesday will be episode 153 of Sanji podcast, so time 8 p.m. because we are going to talk about unstuck. We're going to really break down what unstuck means, and we are so that we can move forward to become resilient and thrive in 2025. And lastly, be on the lookout for the next Boss Masterclass. Save the date. It will be on Wednesday, June the 4th at 7 p.m. on a Zoom call outside of social media. So be looking for that. The link will be dropping soon to register as well. So Big Sis, Coach Dawn, thank you so much for joining. Super proud of you.
1 second.
You are definitely changing.
Can you hear me?
Lives in what you were in the event that they're wondering how they can find you because they might be looking for your help in losing and maintaining weight, their weight, so that they can be in one moment, because it looks like we lost it. Spiritual warfare. I'll be back to tell you second. It's all good. Okay, so until Coach Dawn comes back here on Facebook, and not she's going to be able to come back, but okay, there you go. You're back.
Okay, yeah.
So you want to tell them real quickly how they can find you on social media?
Yes. You can find me on IG, Stay Sexy Wellness, Facebook, Stay Sexy Wellness, and Facebook, Dawn Allen. I just want to say my episode is going to be episode 102. It's going to be right after Sonia's, Wednesday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And my episode is going to be called Marshal Your Health. And I'm going to have a special guest, Mr. Gerald Carter. And he's my sensei, my karate sensei. So I'm going to talk about how karate and different other movement can help you lose weight and keep you healthy. Keep you healthy and strong. So that's going to be fun. Great. Don't miss it.
Yeah. I'll be there taking notes. And now you see why me and my sister's so close, because she ain't going to be doing any of that martial arts stuff on me. So, so with that being said, thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful Mother's Day. Know that you're not alone. We're here for you always. Be safe. Stay well. Get yourself in that mirror. Talk to that self-image all day, every single day, every mirror. It's crucial. Remember that self-care and that self-love. Give yourself some self-care, self-love, and if you're fortunate to have your mom still present, do some self-care and self-love with her tomorrow as well. Until Wednesday, or till I pop up again. Bye for now. God bless you all.
Happy Mother's Day. Have a nice time. Bye-bye.
Yes, happy Mother's Day. Bye.